In August of 2023, the two-year renovations of the Visitor Center on the Antietam National Battlefield were complete. Originally established in 1961 to move to a space separate from the battlefield cemetery, the structure is part of the Mission 66 project that improved National Park Service infrastructure to coincide with the entity's 50th anniversary. However, it had become an artifact in itself in the worst way imaginable. Insufficient space, outdated exhibits, and periodic sewage floods in the lobby called for the building to be completely rehabilitated. I've been excited to see what changes were made, though only have a short time to explore. Let's see what we can discover. Right off the bat, I must commend the new layout of the exhibits. While I wish for some more artifacts to be displayed, the museum flows well even with the large crowds on hand the day we visited. Interaction is emphasized, such as this light board breaking down the casualties to iconic locations on the battlefield. The exhibits regularly relate the local community of Sharpsburg, Maryland to the larger Civil War. We often talk about the southern states seceded because Lincoln won the presidential election of 1860, but here it's revealed the local district voted not for Lincoln, but rather John Bell. Bell's platform was made of a mix of people who perceived both the Republicans and Democrats as being too radical. They hoped some sort of compromise could remain over the slave debate. Also on display is a pike that was part of the cache of pikes abolitionist John Brown brought on his raid upon the nearby Harper's Ferry Arsenal in 1859. Antietam was the scene of some of the most horrific sights of the Civil War. Cartographer James Hope was a witness to the fighting and tried to preserve his memory with oil on canvas and 5 paintings, one of which is on display in the Visitor Center. The sword Hope possessed and carried during the battle is also exhibited. This drum was possessed by a musician attached to Company C of the 1st New Jersey Regiment. The regiment supported Union artillery batteries against Confederate defensive positions near the Dunkard Church. 4 bullets became lodged in this piece of wood railing recovered from the infamous Sunken Road, where 2 brigades held the center of the Confederate battle line. 20 Congressional Medal of Honors would ultimately be rewarded for actions by Union soldiers at Antietam, 2 of which are on loan and displayed at the Visitor Center. A variety of utensils used for burial details in the days after the battle are exhibited. The shovel is tagged to being used on the Miller farm. A common practice was to bend bayonets into hooks to drag the bodies into their shallow graves. In 2020, representatives of the Adams County Historical Society discovered a burial map of the Antietam battlefield dated 1864 in the New York Public Library. This map is credited to S.G. Elliott, the same man who charted the burials on the Gettysburg battlefield. The map's accuracy is supported by the 40 graves with a name attached, several of which are featured in photographs of the battlefield by Alexander Gardiner. The fields around Sharpsburg were littered with debris. Souvenir hunters created obelisks full of them throughout the late 19th century. This shingle represents a more personal memento. Once attached to the roof of the Dunkard Church, a depiction of the iconic structure was painted on it by a local resident named Helena Muma. For all the changes to the Visitor Center, the most crucial feature in the original design remains. An observation deck provides a 100-degree perspective over much of the battlefield and nearby mountain range. From here, one can orient themselves on the entire Antietam campaign. From the gap in the mountains where the Union garrison of Harper's Ferry was located, to South Mountain where the Union Army caught the Confederates off guard and drove them into a defensive line around Sharpsburg. There are few military operations that can be understood so viscerally in one location, to which the Antietam Visitor Center capitalizes upon.